Okay. Now understood? Hello? One thing you have to remember, that where the data is stored. Data is stored in the hard disk. So that data is, that address is logical address. Okay. And when the data is coming in the RAM, that is the physical address. When data is going to RAM to the cache memory will become physical address and RAM will become logical address. Okay. For that data. Got it? Hello? Hello?
Ma'am, some of us from non this thing technical background were not able to really understand this. Just if you give a while, we'll get back
Yes,
to
yes.
you, ma'am.
Yes, 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 sure.
Could you slowly repeat, ma'am, whatever you said again? Could you
Yes, yes.
repeat yourself if you don't?
Yes, definitely. Yes. So remove this. So understood? Yes. This is hard disk. This is RAM. This is cache memory.
My screen is not visible.
Now is it visible?
No, ma'am.
Is it visible now?
Not it, ma'am. No, no, no. Not visible, ma'am. Ah, yeah, now it is visible, ma'am.
Now is it visible now? Hello?
Yes. No, gone again. Gone, ma'am. Again gone.
Why?
No, ma'am, it's not gone.
It's coming and going, ma'am. It is there now again. Now it is gone again.
Now is it visible?
Yes.
Yes.
No, ma'am.
Still now?
Yeah. Now visible.
Yes. Now this is hard disk. Okay. Understood this? This is RAM. This is cache memory.
Ma'am, go little slow, ma'am, if you don't mind.
Okay, okay. Sorry. It's okay. Yes. This is hard disk. Okay. This is RAM. This is cache memory. This is registers. Registers also placed in the CPU. Okay. This is CPU. Okay. When the user give the command for some data, okay, he wants some work on the, for example, he wants to work on his presentation or his in PPT or any Word document, okay, that is stored in the hard disk, okay. Then CPU will give instructions to the registers. Registers will give the command to the cache memory, okay, and then cache memory give command to the RAM memory, and RAM memory will give command to the hard disk. Then there, who is giving this command? This command is giving the operating system, okay. Who is giving this command?
Operating system.
Through operating system, okay. Okay. Now he will search the data will search it from the hard disk, okay. Now hard disk, where the data is stored, that is logical address. Or who generates this logical address? CPU generates this logical address for that data we save. That data we save, we press Control plus S from our keyboard, okay. When we press Control plus S from our keyboard, the data will save in the hard disk, okay. The data will, that address will generate. That address is called logical address. Clear up to this point?
Yeah, so ma'am, for example, we saved a PPT in the computer. We'll
Yes.
give command, then the CPU will tell the registers from there to cache, from there to RAM, then to the HD. This is called logical address.
Yes, that
Oh,
address, no. CPU will generate address for that PPT. CPU
oh,
will generate an address for that PPT. That address is called logical address. Okay.
okay, clear,
That
ma'am.
will store in the hard disk. Got it? Okay. Okay. Now you want to execute, you want to open, you want to work on that PPT. Okay. Then you will give the command to the CPU. CPU will give command to the to execute that program. He will go command, and furthermore they will cache to RAM to hard disk, because the data is placed in the hard disk drive. Okay. Then hard disk will send the data to the RAM. Okay. Pass the data to the RAM. Okay. RAM, this is the logical address, and this is the where the data is executing. This is the now data is in the RAM. Data is in the RAM, so it will become physical address. Okay. But now data is going to the RAM to the cache memory. Okay. Now data is going to RAM to cache memory. So RAM will become logical address for cache memory, and cache memory will become physical address. Okay. For that PPT, for that document you want to work on that. Okay. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear now?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, one thing more. When the data is going from hard disk to RAM or RAM to cache, that process is called memory mapping. What is called? Memory
Can
mapping.
you call it the data going back and forth, ma'am? Is it something like that? With the transaction is happening back and forth, like go to the HD and from there data comes here. So
Yes,
basically
yes.
the exchange of lot of information happening.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. Exchange lot of, because RAM is a temporary memory. There the data can't store permanently. So data is stored permanently always in the hard disk or any other devices, like we use we read now in last classes, like SSD. Now we are using today nowadays in the laptop SSD. Okay. So the data permanently data stored in these devices, secondary storage devices. Okay. So the data execute in the uh, temporary memories, volatile memories. Okay. Data will execute in the volatile memories, but permanently stored in the secondary storage devices. Okay. It can store in these devices, in primary devices. The data can't store permanently in the primary devices. Okay. Primary storage devices, because their data is volatile. It is not permanent in these memories. Got it? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when the data is going from hard disk to RAM, that process is called memory memory mapping. Okay. Okay. When the data is going from one device to another, that process is called memory mapping. Okay. Why it is called memory mapping? To increase the CPU utilization. To increase the CPU utilization, we use the memory mapping, okay, to transfer one data to the hard disk to RAM to cache. This is in a nanoseconds, very small bit of time, because we see now when we open the data, this is will takes more than 1 seconds, not more than 1 seconds. The data will execute. Depends upon your processor speed. Depends upon your processor speed. The data will execute in front of your, okay, in front of you. So next is we will understand what is in secondary devices. Next, how to store data in secondary devices. Data stored in the form of pages. Okay, but remember these points. In secondary devices, data stored in the form of pages. In RAM, data stored in the frames, in the form of frames. And in cache, data stored in the form of lines or blocks. Okay, you have to remember these words. In secondary storage devices, hard disk, data stored in the form of pages. In RAM, data stored in the form of frames. In cache memory, data stored in the form of lines and blocks. Got it? And register is very small in size. It is very hardly 64 bits maximum. Okay. As we know that data stored in the binary form 0 to 1. So next we will discuss about some memories. Okay, secondary memories. Then we will continue to go to the software. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
can you just explain what is frames, lines, and blocks? Is it like simple things? Lines means simply what we know that line is line.
Yes, line by line. Yes, data execute in the form of line by line. Okay, and in frames, as we see in the one thing more, pages. Okay, one thing. One second. Pages is equals to frame. Pages, one page is equals to one frame. Okay, got it? What is, yes. Why one page is equal to one frame? Because when the data is storing in the storing in the memory hard disk device, the data is stored in the form of pages. Like okay, second, show you. You can take. So data is stored in the. We can't write in the. Yes, this is the hard disk device. The data will stored in. I will show you with the picture. Yes. Yes, it is like this. This is the pages. In this form, data is stored in the hard disk. Okay. So this and in RAM, the data is we are showing now in the screen. This is like one frame. Okay. This is one frame. So one frame is equals to one page. So there are so many pages, so many uncountable pages in the hard disk. Okay. So one, suppose we can say that example of like PPT. Our PPT has 80 pages. Okay, so it will be stored in 80 pages. So it will execute in front of you in the form of 80 frames. Okay, when you will give the presentation, it will execute in front of you in the form of 80 frames. Okay, one by one you will see now every frame. Got it? So this is 1 frame, 2 frame, 3 frame, 4 frame. So this is equals to 1 page for the hard disk. Okay, like a one book, like a book. In a book, you there are so many pages. Like you can see na, in one book there can be 500 pages. There can be 1,000 pages in one book. So there you can say that in hard disk there are so many books you can store. You can store so many books in one hard disk. Okay, got it? But book size can be small or large according to your data. Is your data is small, like is data is your 50 pages, 50 frames, it will store it will create a book of 50 pages. If the data is if your presentation is 300 pages, 300 frames, so data will store in 300 pages. Okay, it will create a 300 pages book. Got it?
So only difference is the name, ma'am, that page
Yes,
and
name.
in.
Because yes, name, you can say that na, name. Because pages are secondary devices is pages, and frames are stored in RAM, because it execute only in one frame na. We can't execute RAM, secondary memory. We can execute only RAM. The data is execute in the RAM only. We can't see the data in the RAM, secondary devices. We can store the secondary devices. We can't execute. We can't execute secondary devices, but we can store. We can only store the data. Got it? For
Yes, ma'am.
execution, we need primary devices. For execute our devices, our data, we need primary devices. Okay. So cache memory is small than the RAM. So it executes small data, because lines and blocks, some lines you can say that, and some blocks. Okay. In the form of blocks or in the form of lines. Because its size is smaller than the RAM. RAM size is smaller than the secondary. You can only one frame at a time. Okay. Sorry, execute one frame at a time. But I am opening this screen also, and this is also more than one. But in cache memory, you are executing just lines, and in CPU, this is the process of the CPU. Okay, the data is that is under processing, that is in the RAM, or that data is processed, that data is in front of our eyes, that is in the CPU. Okay, got it? CPU can execute only one page, or you can say that one slide at a one time. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, he can't execute more than one slides. But in RAM, there you can place for like na. I place my I want to I'm working on this slide also, PPT also, and I am working on Google Meet also. So I can place more than one slide, but I can open only one slide at once. Sorry, one PPT or one Google Meet at a time. I can execute only one screen. Okay. I can execute only one screen at a time. I can't execute both screens at a time. Got it? We can open the data in more than one frame, more than one. I can open now Google also. I can open Spotify also, but I can't see all the things at a one time. I have to go. I have to close one thing and to open the other thing. For opening the other thing, for working on the other thing, I have to close one thing. I am just want to open my Spotify. So I have to close this. Means to close means to this is doesn't mean ki close that program. Just to I am just open this Google Meet. I have to close that PPT. PPT is working, but it can't execute. Got it? Please ask
Ma'am,
it out. You have.
sometimes we play song while working in
Because
something.
that is playing in the background now. That is playing in the background screen. If you want to change, you have to change the screen. First of all, you want to change some songs, you want to change some listen other songs. So you will go to the Spotify, then you will change the song, na?
Yeah, 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 got it.
Yes. Yes. Now we will understood. Now one thing important thing I will understood about the will tell you about the memories. Then we will continue for the software. Sorry. Yes. So, semiconductor. We will understand about the semiconductor devices. Okay. I am just collaborating all devices in one slide to understand that to memorize you the what are the semiconductor devices, what are the magnetic devices, what are the optical devices. So it will be easy for you to differentiate between these devices. Okay. So that's why. Otherwise, I have told you, but I will just want to in one told you in one slide, so it will be easy to memorize you. Yes, I am going to tell you about the what are the semiconductor devices. One is RAM. Semiconductor means these are made up of semiconductor. Okay. RAM, there are two types of RAM. Okay. SRAM, DRAM. Then important one, the question come always sometimes ask in exam, flash memory. Flash memory. What is flash memory? I told you na, in SSD there are NAND flash controllers. They are made up of NAND. What is NAND? NAND is a logic. You have to just understand this word, okay? Because this is very deep mechanism. So NAND and NOR, they are the memories are made up of the logic gates. Logic gates. Flip flops are made up of the logic gates. So these logic gates are called there are so many logic gates, or and nor. So there are two universal logic gates, NAND and NOR. So flash memories are made up of the logic gates. And logic gates, what logic gates? Universal logic gates. Universal logic gates. These are NAND. You have studied in SSD, NAND. But you have to remember this word. Flash memories are made up of logic gates. Logic gates are NAND or NOR. Okay, these two. Flash memories are made up of logic gates. Logic gates are made up of the universal logic gates. That is NAND or NOR. Which devices are made up of flash? Which devices are flash memories? They are flash memories are also made up of semiconductor, but these are called flash memories. Why these are called flash memories? Because these are made up of logic gates. What devices are? SSD, as we told, pen drive, as we used. Remember this name? PROM. PROM we have studied. PROM. PROM is also EEPROM. EEPROM. Okay, you have to remember these words. These words are these devices are made up of flash. These devices are flash memory, and flash memories are made up of logic gates. Why these are called flash memory? Because these are made up of logic gates. Okay, so logic gates are made up of semiconductor. So these devices are come under semiconductor. Got it? Now next is the magnetic. What are the magnetic devices? Magnetic device. So magnetic device are hard disk, HDD. Next is tapes, magnetic tapes that we have studied. Magnetic tapes. Then floppy drives. Yes. These are made up of magnetic. These are magnetic devices. Okay. You have to just remember the name. When sometimes question come in the exams, which devices are made up of semiconductor? Okay. So you don't have to be confused. Okay. So these are magnetic. These are semiconductor. Last one is optical. Optical. Optical are na, made up of light. Sorry. These are CD, compact disc. Compact disc comes under read and write. Read and read, write. CDR is where we can record the data. Okay. And RW is we can read and write both. Okay. Next is DVD. DVD also. DVD are recordable and read write. And was last RAM. I don't told you about the RAM also that is left. Yes. So we will understand what DVD-R is digital versatile disk. R is recordable where we can record the data only. Read write is we can read and write both. RAM is so as we know na in CDs and in magnetic tapes also the data is stored in sequentially. When you play the song, in these all devices, sometimes anybody use these devices now. When you play the song will you will listen only one by one. Otherwise you want to listen one first song, next you want to listen fourth song. You don't want to listen between two songs, so you have to forward the cassette. You have to forward that cassette. You have to go sequentially on that song or on that part. So that is that process comes in the CD and DVDs and tapes, floppy drives. Okay, so data stored in the sequence form. But in RAM, DVD RAM, you can store the data randomly. Randomly means you can use the data randomly means uh, which song you want to play first. You can easily You don't need, you just have to fire, you can use data randomly. Okay, just remember this point. You can use data randomly. Got it? Please give me some.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood, bus? You have to remember these things. Okay. Now next is, we will come to the point hard disk, and next new point, new thing we will understand the basis of comparison. First, we will understand hardware and software, the difference between hardware and software. So we have discussed about the hardware devices. Okay, we have studied what are the hardware devices. That devices are physical devices. Physical devices are that require to store, execute the software. Physical devices that we can touch. Physical devices means to say we can touch, we can see. These devices are called hardware, where we can store the data, where we can execute the software, where we can store the software, because data is in the software form. So we can store the data in physical device. Okay, we can execute, we are executor because my data is in the software form. So but I need the hardware to execute my data. So I need hardware. So that device is called hardware. Okay, got it? In software, the software is a collection of instructions that let user interact with the hardware. What is a software? I told you. Actually, what is software? Software is a set of instructions. What is in the software? Software is in there are set of instruction, and okay, the set of instructions makes a program. Okay, programs. Set of instruction collectively makes programs, and that programs are called, that collection of programs are called software. So this is a basic definition of the software. Okay, software is a set of the instructions collectively. When we collect the instructions, they make the programs, and when the programs collection of the programs make the software. Okay, got it? So please reply if
Yes, ma'am.
anyone.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, software is a collection of instructions that let the user interact with the hardware. Yes, when there are set of collection of instructions, there are so many instructions in the software. So when we want to execute, we want to use that software, we need a hardware. Without hardware, we can't execute, we can't use that software. We need to store that software. We need to space to store that software. We need to execute that software. We need hardware to execute that software. Okay, so types, there are types of the discuss about the types of the hardware. First, processing in the cpu is also a hardware. Okay, input output, control storage, control devices, storage devices, external system, application programming, these comes in the hardware. Okay, and the software, there are two. There are no programming, there are application programming. Okay, system software, application programming, these comes under these are the types of the software. Okay, function, what is the functions of the hardware? It is used to the task at the machine level. Okay, because these functions are only machines. Hardwares are only machines because they are basically machines. So when we want to some task, we need these machines. Okay. So it is used to give instruction on what kind of now software. It is used to give instruction on what kind of work the hardware should do. So if we want to type some program, I need keyboard. First of all, I need keyboard to give the command. Okay, that is also hardware. I am giving some command to the CPU or to the computer. First of all, I need some input device to give the instruction, and then all the processing is going in the computer, in the laptop, or in laptop or in PC. That is also processing is going in the hardware, memory, CPU, all other things, hard disk. These are all our hardware, but to execute the program, to execute the instruction, we need the hardware. Okay. Dependency. Hardware is dependent on the software. Yes. If there is, I have a keyboard, but I have no I have no CPU in the keyboard. Sorry, in the PC or in my laptop. I have no operating system in my laptop. I can't work. I can't work because hardware is meaningless for me. It is like a box. It is like a just a you can garbage like that. Okay, if there is no CPU, there is no operating system in my computer, so this is meaningless for me. So its function start when the once the software hardware function but when the hardware function will start when the software is loaded. When the software will be loaded, first program is the bootstrap loader program is execute, then the program will execute, then the hardware will work. The hardware will working of the hardware will start. Next is the software. Software is also without hardware, software is meaningless. Okay, because there is no output device, there is no input device, there is no memory, so we can't store the that software, we can't execute that software. So both are independent on each other. Okay, we can understand like that, both are independent on each other.
Ma'am, can we please stop here, ma'am?
Okay, you must complete this slide, then we will stop. Okay, false.
And ma'am, you said independent of each other or dependent on each other? I didn't get that, ma'am.
Dependent on each other, they are dependent on each other. Without software, hardware is meaningless, and without hardware, software is meaningless. Because there is hardware, you have no software, so what will you work? And you have a software, you have a application, but you have no input device, you have no output device, so how will this work? You have no CPU in your so you have no suppose your touch is not working in the mobile. Okay, your touch is not working because all data is okay, but your touch is not working. How will you work on that? Okay, because your hardware is not working now. The software is present in your data is present in your smartphone, but your touch is not working. How will you work? Okay, but you can understand like that your mobile is okay, but there is no application in your phone, there is nothing in your phone, no internet in your phone. How will you work? Without software you can't work. Okay, so both are dependent on each other. Got it?
Yes,
So we will
ma'am.
stop here. Tomorrow we will continue. Okay, his time has done. We just finish it in the 2 minutes. Okay, no, there are so many things I have to told you. So let's finish the class here. Stupid stuff, isn't it?